first overseas guest has arrived from the UK. So will you please welcome the Iron Lady herself, Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, let me say, it's a great pleasure to be here today and to be able to talk down to all of you. You know, it's so good to see the older persons of Australia able to get out and enjoy themselves and come to a wonderful concert like this. Unfortunately, the older persons of Great Britain don't get out so much these days. In fact, they stay at home and watch wrestling on the TV. Actually, I asked one of the older persons once, why do you watch wrestling? And they said, well, it's nice to see someone else struggling for a living. Thank you. But you know, I know it's not easy getting old. In fact, your hair goes white, your hearing goes, your eyesight goes, you lose control of your emotions, and you end up being the Prime Minister of Australia. But you know, I have a motto, and actually it's the same one as yours. Too old, never. Because aging is a state of mind. Do you know, I wake up every morning and feel like a 20-year-old. Unfortunately, there's never one there. But I know that there's probably many of you out there today who were actually born in Great Britain, and you're probably wondering, how are things going back at home? Well, let me tell you that things are going fine in Great Britain. Oh yes, I know, we've had those terrible riots over my poll tax, and I was really upset when I saw all those people getting hurt. In fact, a little tear ran down my cheek, fell onto the desk, and burnt a hole in the varnish. But you will be pleased to hear that we've abolished the poll tax. We're now going to tax taxi cabs and prune juice. That way we can get them coming and going. Thank you so much. And talking of going, ladies and gentlemen, I must go now. But before I do, I'd like to introduce you to a wonderful vocal group. You know, back in the 60s and 70s, one of Australia's leading vocal groups was the Flanagans. Do you remember the Flanagans? They were wonderful, weren't they? Do you know, after having a well-deserved rest as a group, they have now reformed, especially for you today, and they are here to sing you a medley of songs from that hit musical, Les Miserables. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome Peter, Paul, and Margaret Flanagan.
One of Australia's most loved...
Blimey, look at that. Somebody's in me bloody sea. Look at that. Oh, come on, be fair. Look, somebody in me bloody sea in there. Oi!
Oi!
Come on, bloody sea!
Oi!
Oh,
excuse me! Excuse me, my man!
What?
We are trying to put on a show here.
Oh, look at her. She's got a voice, little sliced pickles, hasn't she, eh? Look at that. I know you're trying to do a show, my dear, but somebody's sitting in my bloody sea, and look at him. I mean, look, you get a free ticket for a concert.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Alf Garnett.
Hello! Oi! Oi, let's go down!
Alf, what are you doing in Australia?
What am I doing? I come over here to get a bit of sun, didn't I? Hey,
Oh.
you know, get a tan. Didn't I get a tan? What with all that bloody rain you've had, all I've got is rust. Rust! It's a joke, isn't it? Oh, it's the first time I've seen dead people sitting up straight. Look at that. What is this, the Last Supper? With the original bloody cast. Look at them, look, yeah. That's why I'm in Australia, dear. That's why I'm here in Australia. It's a wonderful country, isn't it, eh?
Now, how are things in England, Alf?
Things in England are murder.
Okay.
Yeah, I tell you what, with all those bloody riots and the muggings, I'll tell you what, there's a place in London where they mug you with a date stamp, so you don't get done twice in the same day.
What about the cost of living?
Don't talk to me about the cost of living, my dear. Don't talk to me. Everything's gone up, isn't it? Do you know the bus fares have gone up in London by 2 rupees? rupees! It's a bloody joke, isn't it? Look at that, I'm doing comedy at the back and tragedy at the front. Look at this, look. It's ridiculous, isn't it? I mean, you know, all those Pakistanis are in England, aren't they? Eh? I saw a Pakistani go into a shop and ask for talcum powder. They gave him Gravox.
Now, that's not very nice, Mr. Garnett.
Well,
you know the old saying, love thy neighbour.
Yeah, love thy neighbour, but make sure the bloody blinds are drawn first. Ta-da, everybody!
Ladies and gentlemen, certainly been overwhelmed today by our visiting overseas guests. And our next guest, I think, is undoubtedly even better known than the President of the United States of America. Will you please give a wonderful Australian welcome to Mikhail Gorbachev.
До свидания, на здравие, Sabibor, Nik Nok Nakinu. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a pleasure for me to be here today at this special concert for older persons. Of course, in Russia, we also have older persons, and who are very proud to be older persons. In fact, they never lie about their age. My wife never lies about her age. She tells everybody she is the same age as me. And then she lies about my age. But I am arriving in Australia yesterday and meeting your Prime Minister, Jason Donovan. And he is taking me on a tour of Australian factory. And I am very shocked. I am seeing men sitting around smoking cigarettes and drinking coffee. I am saying to foreman, this would never happen in Russia. In Russia, we work 10-hour day, from 8 in the morning till 6 at night, with only 20 minutes for lunch. He said, you will never get them to do that in Australia. I said, why not? He said, they're all bloody communists. До свидания. As I'm sure you know, many changes are taking place in Russia today. One of the changes is that the women now are wearing cosmetics. Thank God. There is a man who goes round every day from door to door going ding dong, Ivan calling. We are also having many changes. For example, we are importing the foreign cars. I myself, I am having a Porsche. My wife is also having a Porsche, which she is parking behind my Porsche. So now we have a front Porsche and a back Porsche. You know, people are asking me what is my attitude now with all changes. What is my attitude to Americans? Well, attitude is changing. I am very friendly with Americans. Recently, I am having a meeting with President Bush in the gentleman's lavatory at the White House. We are meeting in the lavatory because it's the only place where everybody knows what they're doing. But he is not an easy man to get along with. During meeting, he is getting very upset and emptying jug of orange juice over my head. Mind you, I am retaliating and ramming 2 bananas up his nose. The atmosphere was tense, but fruitful. I thought you'd like that one. I thought you'd like it more than you did, but I thought you'd like it. You know, people are saying to me now that Russia is changing and communism is going. Will Russia become like Australia? An answer is niet, never, for one good reason. You see, in Russia, everything is owned by the state, while in Australia, everything is owned by the Japanese. До свидания, goodbye, everybody. Thank you so much.
Gorbachev. Fantastic. Wonderful having all of Now, the last of our special guests today is a man of action. In the movie First Blood, he showed his guts. In part 2, he showed his stamina. And in part 3, he showed his courage. But today he is here in person to show us what he is made of. Ladies and gentlemen, the Rock himself, Sylvester Stallone.
Hey, yo.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think what he's trying to say is that the man behind all the characters you have seen here today is the masked impressionist, Peter Kaye.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. God bless you. Bye-bye.
He's really something else, isn't he? Now, how about Mr. Peter Kaye?